7 brain surgeries since last fall, hundreds of hours of physical therapy, speech therapy, doctor's appointments, the constant fear of seizing, waiting for the next thing to go wrong. This may sound crazy, but this was the norm for my family. Why? Severe intractable focal epilepsy, the disorder that changed our lives. Intractable epilepsy is a seizure disorder in which seizures fail to come under control with medication. This can sometimes be called uncontrolled or refractory. Because of this, medication must be specific to the seizure type and tolerated by the patient and tried singularly and together with other seizure medications. My sister Wyatt had her first seizure at the age of 7, and my parents immediately scheduled doctor's appointments to address the condition. After years of trial and error with countless medications, Wyatt was able to reduce the frequency of her seizures. But that did not mean that she didn't wake up every day truly hoping to not have a seizure. This fear controlled our entire lives. But my sister Wyatt refused to let the disorder define her. My sister Wyatt has always been an inspiration to me, and she's always had her family to support her. Battling epilepsy brought my family closer together than ever before, and the disorder became our collective fight. With the revolving door of home to hospital and back again, my family never truly shared too much about Wyatt's condition with the outside world. And if we were feeling the stress of Wyatt's condition, we would talk to each other. Over the years, Wyatt has been offered many resources, like personal therapists who deal with sick children, but Wyatt never felt the need because she already had her own proper coping mechanism. My beautiful and incredible mom, Miquette, was always there to listen no matter what, and was the glue that held our family together. My mom was also my coping mechanism, with me sharing my emotions whenever I needed. But the difficulty was, as we got older, Wyatt would spend more time at the hospital through exploratory surgeries or more doctor's appointments, and my parents slipped away with her. Now, every kid has emotions and something to say. As we all know, kids can be very vocal sometimes, and my younger self included. With my parents spending extended amounts of time at the hospital, my thoughts remained unvoiced. Every time my sister would go to the hospital, I would say I couldn't wait for her to get back and would give her a cheerful goodbye. Inwardly, I was plagued with fear and anxiety. I never wanted to tell my mom my true extent of my feelings because I knew that Wyatt was going through so much more. Don't make the same mistake I did. If you have something eating away at you or emotions that need to surface, find that outlet. As Meredith Grey would say on my favorite TV show, Grey's Anatomy, you find your people, you find your person, and you lean on them. And then Meredith Grey would say to dance it out. What I essentially mean by this is find what brings you relief. For my sister Wyatt, personal therapy was ineffective, but that does not mean it won't work for someone else. So if you are feeling the stress of school, social life, family life, it can bring you significant relief to talk to someone. That person could be a personal therapist, or a family member, or even a friend. There are ways to cultivate these necessary relationships by opening up new avenues through verbal communication. This may seem like a given, like something that doesn't necessarily require research to confirm or obtain. But when the stress becomes all-consuming, it can be difficult to remember what helps us to alleviate the stress. This was my problem, with my younger self not sharing the true extent of my feelings with my mom. In retrospect, spending so much time waiting only increased my stress, and it seeped into the rest of my life. There are a multitude of ways to find that healthy outlet. Many use physical activities, like running or cycling, to reduce fear and anxiety. This can help to energize a drained psyche or recharge someone's life. But, however, I have been an active kid, and although a nice run can help reduce the thoughts of the rest of my life, I always end up at the same place. This is because there is an actual neurological explanation as to why verbalizing our feelings is more effective than any other coping mechanism. Neuroscience studies done by well-known psychologists like Dr. Matthew Dillon Lieberman at UCLA and Dr. David Silbersvig at Brigham and Women's Hospital have found that when we articulate our feelings, we reduce activation in the amygdala. The amygdala is the brain's alarm system that triggers a fight or flight reaction. When we move away from this, we move away from limbic reactivity, the structures in the brain that deal with emotion and memory. And when we do this, we move toward the structures of the brain that deal with language and meaning. Essentially, what I mean by this is we become less reactive and more mindfully aware. Not having an outlet is like the pressure cooker analogy. As heat is applied to the pressure cooker, steam builds. As this steam builds, more pressure is added to the pressure cooker. If you remove the lid at full pressure, you'll have a hot and explosive mess. The steam is your stress and contained feelings, and if you remove it, it can leave you to feel even worse than you did before. If you let it out, you can help process with these feelings and how you are feeling. Although my sister hasn't had a seizure since last fall and her epilepsy is currently dormant, I still worry about her every day, and that stress and anxiety from years past will remain with me forever. Whether it is you who lacks that person to talk to, or a family member, or just someone you know, talking to someone can truly help the whole body. I encourage each and every one of you to reach out to your loved ones and check in with them regularly. We all have an opportunity to be a support system for someone, and it may seem simple, but taking time out of your day can truly change someone's life. I wasn't the one diagnosed with epilepsy, but it still consumed my life. And looking back now, having an outside outlet could have helped me significantly. An outlet can help balance your life and recharge that drained psyche. Don't let the pressure cooker explode when you least expect it. Thank you so much.